Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney believes his team can run the table, telling ESPN, quote, "I've had one undefeated team. In 2018, we were the first 15-0 team in the history of major college football ever. And I think we're going to be the first 16-0 team. It's a race to do that," end quote. So what are the odds Clemson goes 16-0? Glad you asked. There are none. But you can wager on Clemson to have a perfect regular season at plus 410 and to win the national championship, 11-1 odds. Chartbuster, time to have a segment. Welcome in CBS Sports college football writer and esteemed member of the Cover 3 podcast, Tom Fornelli. So let me get this right, Tom. Dabo thinks Clemson will go 12-0 in the regular season, win the ACC championship, earn a bye, and then defeat three of the best teams in the country in the college football playoff. What are we doing?
I love the optimism from Dabo, but of course that's exactly what you're going to get from him. It's what you always get from him. It's his energy. It's what's helped him lead that Clemson program to unprecedented heights. But when it comes to the ability for them to go 16-0 this year, I'm not overly confident that they will be able to get the job done. That said, I do think there's a chance they could go 12-0 in the regular season. They start the year with that game against LSU, and if they're able to get past the Tigers, you look at their ACC schedule, you don't see Miami, you see Florida State, but we have no idea what to make of Florida State. They get that rematch from the ACC championship game with SMU. It's at home. Duke is at home. Like, if they get past that LSU game, it's not crazy to think they're going to run through the ACC, because over the last 3 years, this Clemson team is 21-5 versus the ACC. While they have not been the national title contender of vintage, they are still the cream of the crop when it comes to that league. So the two big questions are that LSU game and the finishing game against South Carolina, because I mentioned they're 21-5 against the ACC in the last 3 years. Against the SEC, they're only 2-5, Akeem, and that's been the big problem for Clemson in the regular season. So if they're going to live that 16-0 dream, they need to win those games. I don't think it's impossible, but if it happens, I know we're talking about Clemson as being rejuvenated and being a title contender. I am not personally on that board. I think they are a very good team, but I think when it comes to competing against the cream of the crop, and which is what they would have to do to win not one, not two, but 3 college football playoff games to be national champs, I don't think they can do it. So 16-0 seems like a bridge too far. Maybe 13-0 before finishing 13-1.
Okay. So you've got star quarterback Cade Klubnik leading the way. Clemson has 16 returning starters, added 3 players from the transfer portal. Oh, wow. They added 3 players from the transfer portal.
They did.
Dabo's changing. The times are a-changing. Vegas set Clemson's win total at 9.5, and you're saying that you would take the over as your realistic expectations for Klubnik and the Tigers.
Yeah, when I think of Dabo in the transfer portal, I can't help but think of the end of Rocky IV, Hakeem. If I can change,
yes,
and you can change. But no, it is interesting because there's a weird feeling I get about this Clemson team in that I wonder, like I am taking the over on their season win total because I do think they are the best team in the ACC and they should win most of those games. So if they split those 2 SEC games, we're looking pretty good with that win total. But I also wonder, like, especially when it comes to Cade Klubnik, he's one of the top Heisman candidates out there as far as the odds board. And when you look at the lists that you see all offseason about the best quarterbacks in college football, you're going to see Cade Klubnik no lower than 3 in all of those lists. But is that because we all really think Cade Klubnik is that good, or is it just because we have no idea about so many quarterbacks at so many of the top programs in the country? Because we don't know who Ohio State's starting quarterback is. We don't know who Oregon's starting quarterback is. We know who Arch Manning is, but we don't really know who he is as the full-time starter. Georgia's got quarterback questions. And when you look at the teams that you look at as title contenders, Penn State and Clemson are the only 2 with experienced guys coming back. And Cade Klubnik, we've seen the highs. We've also seen the lows. At season opener last year against Georgia, he was horrible. He also played terrible in the Louisville game that Clemson lost. But if there's reason to be optimistic, even though Clemson lost to Texas in the playoffs to finish the season, it wasn't Cade Klubnik's fault. He felt like the only guy on that team who showed up for them and kept them in that game last season. So if that's the Cade Klubnik we see this season, if that's the Cade Klubnik that progresses and grows, then yes, this is a Clemson team that could be very good. But I don't know. Like, you look at both sides of the ball, that defense is still going to be fantastic. I'm still not entirely sold on the offensive line. I'm still not entirely sold on Cade Klubnik. So like I said earlier, when it comes to competing against the elite teams, I'm skeptical. When it comes to beating up on everybody who's not elite, I'm fully on board. It's what they're going to do.
Well, they got Tom Allen as their new defensive defensive coordinator, and Klubnik coming off a season which he had 43 total touchdowns. He's tied with LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier for the second best odds to win the Heisman, behind only Arch Manning. Klubnik, Nussmeier clashing in week 1 in a battle of tigers, with Clemson hosting LSU as a 3.5-point home favorite, which Death Valley is the Death Valley. That is for another day. The question I ask you is, which group of Tigers are you backing in week 1?
I mentioned it earlier. The last 3 seasons, Clemson 2-5 straight up against the SEC. I like this team. I've said it. I don't want to sound like a hater because I think they're going to win 10 games, but I think that's a very good team, but it's not a great team. And I look at this opener and I feel like this is one of the 2 losses. LSU is a team that I know what they have at quarterback, and Garrett Nussmeier, for a first-year starter, had the ups and downs that all first-year starters have. But I think overall, talent-wise, I have far more faith in Garrett Nussmeier than I do in Cade Klubnik. I have more faith in the skill position players that LSU has on offense. They do have to replace some key guys on the offensive line, and defensively they've been a mess the last few years, but I do think that we've seen a talent influx there. They should be better. So I think Clemson can slow them down a bit on defense. It's just I don't have the faith in the Tigers to score enough points to win this game, or if to win it, to have them cover. So I'm taking LSU plus 3.5, although honestly I will be sprinkling just a little bit on that money line.
The fact that you're trusting Brian Kelly in week 1, that's a lot of faith. Tom, it's a lot of faith with history.
Hey, if Dabo can change, I can change.
Transfer portal. Oh, my goodness. I'm excited. The countdown continues. 17 days away from week 0 and a brand new college football season. Tom Fornelli here with us on CBS Sports HQ. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
And for all things college football, check out the Cover 3 podcast. Chip Patterson joined by Tom Fornelli, Danny Cannell, Bud Elliott with in-depth analysis all season long. Every week, you'll get picks against the spread. Loyal listeners will tell you it's one of the best podcasts on the market. You can also watch them on YouTube as well. The Cover 3 podcast, download and follow today.